Welcome to all. This video lecture is for the benefit of students of third semester BCom of Mangalore University in the subject Financial Accounting 3. This video lecture is the initiative of Government of Karnataka, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Bangalore. Myself, Lokesh Nath B, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Kapo, taking up session number 42 in the unit Death of a Partner. In this particular video lecture, we will be discussing about the preparation of accounts involving the adjustment relating to joint life policy, goodwill and interest on capital. In this regard, we will take up some problems and I will be demonstrating how to solve these problems. We will take up certain illustration. Now, first of all, we will understand what is a joint life policy. In the partnership, as you are aware, there are more than one person as a partner. There may be two or more people. And at the time of formation, the partners may take life insurance policy. If the partnership firm takes life insurance policy as a single policy on the lives of all the partners, then that we call it as a joint life policy. Here, one policy is taken on the lives of all the partners. What is the need for taking a joint life policy? In the unfortunate event of a death of a partner, the executor of the deceased or the legal representative of the deceased partner is to be paid immediately, and for the payment of money the business need urgent cash or the resources. If business utilize the existing resources out of their working capital, the performance of the day-to-day activities of the business may be affected due to the sudden need of the huge sum that which have to be paid to the executors of the deceased party. So, in order to provide liquid fund at the time of the death of a partner, the joint life policy is taken so that the resources of the firm and its working capital are not unduly affected. So primarily, this joint life policy is taken for the urgent need of arranging the cash can be avoided when the compensation from the joint life policy is received and that compensation is given to the legal representative of the deceased partner, so that there will be no burden, immediate short-term burden on the business. And every at the regular interval, the firm has to pay a certain sums of money. That we call it as a premium. In a regular interval, the firm is required to pay. Now, if the premium is paid out of the funds of the business, then this policy belongs to the firm. So, when the premium paid out of the funds of the business, that policy is called as a joint life policy, and they belong to entire partnership firm. The joint life policy matures either in the event of the death of the policy holder or on the expiry of the stipulated period of the policy. Whichever occurs first. Whatever the maturity value, that belongs to all the partners of the firm, because for this joint life policy, premium is paid out of the funds of the business. Business funds are belonging to all the partners. Therefore, if any compensation is received upon the death of the deceased partner, or any compensation is received upon the maturity value of the policy, this compensation amount belongs not only to the deceased person but also to other remaining partners. So this policy is on the lives of all the partners. Even though one of the partner is deceased, as soon as one partner is deceased, the amount is received from the insurance company as a compensation. This compensation amount, all the partners are entitled for this distribution of the policy amount, and they will be sharing the policy amount in their old profit sharing ratio. There are two types of the policy. That is, one we call it as a individual or several or separate life insurance policy. If it is individual policy, policy is taken on the name of individual partner. In the joint life policy, you have a policy under one single name. Lives of all the partners are covered under a single policy. But in case of a individual policy, each of the partner is covered by a separate policy. And the premium can be paid out of the personal funds of the partner, or it may be, if decided, may also be charged out of the profit and loss account. And upon the death of the partner, only the amount for which the deceased partner was insured would be recovered from the insurance company. So, upon the death of a partner, the deceased partner, the amount will be recovered. The other two, if there are three partners, other two partners' policy will remain. It will continue to remain. So, the policy is a individual policy if the policy single each separate policy is taken in the name of the individual name of the partner, then we call it as a individual policy. The policies of the surviving partner will continue to survive, but the surrender values of the policies of the surviving partner would also be taken into account for the purpose of calculating the amount payable to the legal representative of the deceased partner. Upon the death of the deceased partner, the insurance policy which in the name of the deceased person, the entire amount will be received. But on the remaining policy, the policy will be surrendered back to the insurance company, and the amount of the surrender value will be taken into consideration while calculating the amount payable to the deceased partner's legal representative. The legal representative would be entitled to receive share in the surrender value equivalent to the profit sharing ratio of the deceased partner. So we have to remember that in case of a joint life policy, there will be one single policy and the compensation will be received in one lump sum. When there are several policies, the policy in whose name, the policy in the name of the deceased partner, that will be fully received as compensation, whereas the other remaining policies in the name of the remaining partner, that we have to take into consideration the surrender value of the policy while calculating the amount due to the deceased partner's legal representative. As I told you earlier, the joint life policy, it is an insurance policy taken by the firm in the names of all the partners jointly. The premium on joint life policy is paid by the firm. It is paid by the firm. If it is paid by the firm, then every partner is entitled for the amount on the compensation received from the insurance company. When a firm takes out a joint life policy, it gets the full amount of the policy, either on the maturity of the policy or upon the death of any one of the partner, whichever is earlier. The primary purpose is here basically for the arrangement of the fund. Insurance policy will be necessary for the business so that they will not be left in a situation where the resources of the business have to be affected by the payment to compensation to the deceased partner's legal representative. In order to avoid this particular situation, the firm takes joint life policy so that necessary availability of the funds are made at necessary point of time, so that amount is immediately paid to the deceased partner's legal representative. Now also we use the term surrender value. What we mean by a surrender value? So here surrender value refers to the amount which would be paid by the life insurance company. The amount which would be paid by the life insurance company to the policy holder in case of surrender of policy before the maturity. To discourage surrender of policy, surrender value of the policies are generally kept very low as compared to amount paid in premiums. So, to discourage the people to surrender the policy, the surrender values are usually kept as very low. So, surrender value is nothing but the policy value if it is surrendered before the expiry of the stipulated period or before unforeseen event have happened. So if it is surrendered before the maturity, then that value we call it as a surrender value. Now what are the accounting treatments for the joint life policy? The executors of the deceased partners are entitled to claim a share A in the claim receivable from insurance company if the joint life policy not appearing in the books. In the balance of the joint life policy account, if the joint life policy is already appearing in the books, because premium for such policy were paid out of the firm's profit in which a deceased partner had a share. So whenever the amount which is paid to the deceased partner on account of the joint life policy, what will be the situation is that we have to see in the balance sheet, old balance sheet, whether the joint life policy appears or joint life policy does not appear. If it is not appearing and if it is appearing, treatment slightly differ. Accounting treatment in case of individual policy. Individual life policy is an assurance policy covering the life of a partner individually. If the firm had insured lives severally and charged the premium to profit and loss account, the executors of the deceased partner are entitled to claim a share in the surrender value of the policy. So they will be also entitled in the surrender value of the policy. So in the claim receivable from the insurance company in case of a matured policy, in the surrender values of unmatured individual life policies of other partners. So by this we have to remember the accounting treatment. In case of a joint life policy, there will be one single life policy and the entire compensation amount will be received. There will be no further insurance policy in that, and the everything compensation will be fully received. But whereas in the case of a individual policy, the policy of the in the name of the deceased partner, the full compensation is received, whereas the other remaining partners life policy, individual life policy, we have to take into consideration only the surrender value. So the surrender value usually is kept low. So it is always advisable to take a joint life policy instead of a individual life policy. Because in case of a joint life policy, you will get the entire amount as a compensation. Whereas in an individual policy, you will be getting only entire amount of compensation on the policy of the deceased partner's name. Whereas the other remaining partner's name, you will be getting only the surrender value, which usually are very kept low. The amount of surrender value is very kept low because to discourage the people from surrendering the policy, usually it will be low. So it is always advisable to take a joint life policy rather than a individual life policy. In the accounting treatment, in respect of the accounting treatment, Joint life policy, we have a single policy, so the entire proceeds will come and it will be distributed to all the partners in their old profit sharing ratio. It will be distributed to all the partners in their old profit sharing ratio. Whereas for the individual life policy, the policy in the name of the deceased partner, entire proceeds are received, and the policy in the name of the remaining partner, only surrender value will be received, and this matured policy amount plus the surrender value of the remaining policy will be totaled up and it will be distributed to all the partner. Why it is distributed to all the partner? When it will be distributed to all the partner, when the premium for this joint life policy or the individual life policy is paid out of the business funds. If it is charged to profit and loss account, then it will be given to all the partners. If it is privately paid, in case of individual policy, if the policy amount is privately paid by the individual partner, then that is not brought into the books of the account, because no business funds will be affected by that. But in case of joint life policy, it will be usually paid out of the business fund. That is why the entire amount will be distributed to all the partners in the old profit sharing ratio. In case of individual policy, the compensation amount received on the matured policy or the policy in the name of the deceased person, and the compensation in the name of the deceased person is added with the surrender values of the unmatured policy, that is policies which are in the name of the remaining partner. Then all this total is paid to all the partners because the premium is paid out of the funds of the business. It is charged to profit and loss account. Now we will take up one problem to illustrate, to demonstrate the life policy treatment in case of a death of a partner. In the previous sessions, we have seen how to prepare the executor's account with the certain capital adjustment. Now in this problem, we will be adding one adjustment relating to the joint life policy. So we will discuss a problem relating to the joint life policy. So we'll are taking up the illustration 1. I will be reading out the problem. Ranbir, Sushil and Vijayendra carried on a business in partnership, sharing profits and losses as 3:2:1. Their capital as on 31st December 2019 was Ranbir 1,04,000, Sushil rupees 50,000 and Vijayendra rupees 30,000. On 28th February 2020, Ranbir died and you are instructed to prepare his executor account with the following information. The firm had insured the partners' lives severally. Ranbir for rupees 90,000, Sushil for 48,000, Vijayendra for 24,000. The premiums have been charged to profit and loss account and the surrender value on 28th February 2020 amounted in each case to 1/4 of the sum assured. Capital carried interest at 6% per annum. Ranbir's drawings from 1st January 2020 to the date of his death were rupees 12,000. Ranbir's share of profits for the portion of the current financial year for which he lived was to be taken at the sum calculated on the average profits of the last 3 completed years, and goodwill was to be raised on the basis of 2 years purchase of the average profits of the 3 years. The annual profits were rupees 92,000, 74,000 and 86,000 respectively. First of all, we will understand the problem. What are the information which is provided in the problem that we will be looking at first? Here there are 3 partners, Ranbir, Sushil and Vijayendra, and also they have given the old profit sharing ratio as 3:2:1. So these two information is readily available, that 3:2:1. And it is also said that the balance sheet date is 31st December 2019. That means this accounting year in this case ends on 31st December 2019. So the last balance sheet was prepared on 31st December 2019. And they also have provided the capital as on that date. That is Ranbir 1,04,000, Sushil 50,000, Vijayendra 30,000. On 28th February 2020, that means last balance sheet date was 31st and he died on 28th February 2020. Ranbir died. So here this information is relevant. So 2 months he was alive. And certain information is given. With this information, they have asked to prepare us the executor's account. Then, as we have said earlier, in this particular topic, we will be taking on the insurance policy. Here, the one insurance policy adjustment is given. The firm had insured the partners' lives severally. So there is individual policies of 90,000, 48,000 and 24,000. And it is very clearly mentioned that the premium has been charged to profit and loss account. That means all the partners are entitled for the amount due from the insurance company. And what is the surrender value? Surrender value is 1/4 of the sum assured. 1/4. It is 1/4. 1/4 of the sum assured. What is the sum assured? In individually they have given 90,000, 48,000 and 28,000. So that is the sum assured. And also it is said interest on capital is provided. Interest on capital is at the rate of 6% per annum. And the drawings from 1st January. The balance sheet ended, last balance sheet ended on 31st December 2019, and from 1st January to the date of death, for 2 months there was a drawing of rupees 12,000. Here clearly it is given, it is up to the date of the death. Then Ranbir's share of the profits for the portion of the current financial year for which he lived was to be taken at the sum calculated on, clearly here word average profit is given, of the last 3 completed years. So average profits of the 3 years will be taken as a base to calculate the accrued profit. And goodwill is to be raised on the 2 years purchase of the, again clearly it is given, average profits of the 3 years, and the annual profits for the 3 years is given as 92,000, 74,000 and 86,000. Now this problem, they have asked us to prepare the executor's account. Before going into the preparation of the executor's account, we will first find out the goodwill, what is the deceased partner share of the goodwill, and what is the deceased partner share in the accrued profit. Then we will go to the preparation of the executor's account. So first we will calculate the goodwill. In the problem, very clearly they have mentioned that goodwill will be here, very clear information is given that goodwill will be calculated on the basis of the 3 years profit. And what are the profits for the 3 years? 92,000, 74,000 and 86,000. So what we need to do? 92,000, 74,000 and 86,000. These three amount is to be added. These are to be added because they are 3 years profit, and you divide by that many number of years of the profit you have added. So in this case it is 3 years profit. So 3 years profit we get a 2,52,000 and divide by the number of years, that is 3 years. So we get a amount of 84,000. So 84,000 is the average profits for the 3 years. Now this average profit of 3 years will be multiplied into the number of years of the purchase. In the problem it is very clearly given average profits of the 3 years. And how to calculate it? It is on the basis of the 2 years purchase. So we need to multiply the average profit we received calculated into the 2 times. What is the average profit we have calculated? Here we have calculated, that is 84,000. So 84,000 we have calculated as average profit, and you multiply into 2. This is the number of years purchased. Number of years purchased is 2. So we get a answer of 1,68,000 is the total goodwill of the entire firm. Now we need to find out the goodwill of the deceased partner. How to find out? You multiply the total goodwill of the firm into his share. So total goodwill will be multiplied into his share. So that will be 1,68,000 into 3 by 6, that is 84,000. 1,68,000 into 3 by 6, that is 84,000. So you get a answer of 84,000 as the deceased partner's share of the goodwill. So we get 84,000 as the deceased partner share of goodwill, and his share is 3 by 6. Where we got this 3 by 6? In the problem they have given the old ratio as 3:2:1, and who is the person deceased? It is Ranbir. Ranbir is the first person. So Ranbir is the first person. Is deceased. So in this case the old profit sharing ratio is given in the problem is 3:2:1. And which partner is deceased? It is given that the Ranbir. Ranbir is the first person. So this partner is deceased. So is share. Ranbir share, here it is 3 in the numerator. If you add 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is in the denominator you get 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 6. And in the numerator is share, that is 3. So 3 by share, 3 by 6 is the deceased partner share, that we have to multiply. When we multiply, we get a 84,000 as the deceased partner share of the goodwill. Now, as you are aware, the goodwill created is to be adjusted in the capital accounts of the remaining partner. No new goodwill account should be opened in the books of the firm. No new goodwill account should be opened in the books of the firm, and it should be adjusted in the capital ratio. It should be adjusted in the capital ratio of the partners, and it should be adjusted in the capital ratio of the partners in gain ratio. So in order to calculate the gain ratio, what are the information which are necessary to calculate the gain ratio? So the gain ratio can be calculated by using a formula. Gain ratio can be calculated by using a formula. The formula is new ratio minus old ratio. New ratio minus old ratio. New ratio minus old ratio. But in this problem, this new ratio is not given. When this new ratio is not given, we have to assume that gain ratio will be the same as old ratio. It is same as old ratio as existed between the remaining partner. What is the old ratio? In the problem, it is given that old ratio is 3:2:1. Old ratio is 3:2:1. And who is the deceased person? Ranbir. That is the first person is deceased. What is remains here among the remaining partner is 2:1. So the gain ratio is 2:1. Gain ratio is 2:1. So in this ratio, the goodwill is to be calculated. In this ratio, goodwill is to be calculated. Now we will move on to calculating the accrued profit. If in the problem very clearly they have mentioned that in the problem that the accrued profits will be calculated on the basis of the average profit. Average profits of how many years? Average profits of the 3 years. That is clearly given. So we will take the average profits of the 3 years. Average profits of 3 years, that is in this case, since we have already calculated for the goodwill, we know exactly what is the average profits of the 3 years. We have already calculated it for the purpose of the goodwill. So average profits of the 3 years is, add the 3 years profit, that is 92,000, 74,000, 86,000. So we got the answer of 84,000. So this has been already calculated. So we directly take the amount which is already calculated, that is 84,000. Now this 84,000 amount is for the one entire year. But this deceased person remained alive in this particular current year of the death only for the 2 months. That is from 1/1/2020 he was alive up to 28 February 2020. So he remained only for certain number of years. that is from 1/1/2020, from the beginning of the January, he remained up to 28. So how many months? One January and another is February. Entire 2 months they are alive. So 2 months they were alive for only 2 months. So this 2 months we have taken here, divided by the total number of months, that is 12. So 84,000 into 2 by 12, it is 14,000. So this is the estimated profits for 2 months, and this profit is for the entire firm. It is 2 months profit for the entire firm. Now we need to find out the profits of the deceased person. So we got the amount of 14,000 as the profit for 2 months for entire period, multiplied into the share of the deceased partner. So what is the deceased partner share? So old ratio is given as 3:2:1. So that means the first person is deceased, that is his share is 3. So old ratio is of deceased person is 3/6. In the denominator it is 6. So it is 3/6 old ratio. So when we multiply, we get a 7,000 rupees as the deceased partner share of the accrued profit. Now we'll go to calculation of the life policy. As I told earlier, here individual policy is taken. In the problem, it is specifically mentioned that individual policy is taken here. So of 90,000, Ranbir, Sushil 48,000 and Vijayendra 20. When the individual policies are taken, the policy amount, sum assured policy amount of the deceased partner will be received in full. That in this case, Ranbir, it will be received in full, that is 90,000. Whereas Sushil is the partner who is alive, 48,000. Vijayendra is the partner who is also alive, that is 24,000. That will be surrendered, and in the case of surrender, we get amount of 1/4 of the policy amount. 1/4 of 48,000, 1/4 of the 24,000. So we will be calculating sum assured of the policy belong to the deceased partner. What is the deceased partner's policy amount? We have already seen here. It is 90,000. It is 90,000. It is 90,000. So we take here as 90,000. So the amount of the deceased partner will be taken full amount, that is 90,000. And not only the deceased partner is entitled to his policy amount on 90,000, but also on the surrender values of the policies of the remaining partner, because it is also paid out of the profit and loss account of the business. The funds of the business is used. Now we have two other remaining partner, that is in this problem they have given Sushil and Vijayendra. Sushil, it is 48,000. In the problem it is mentioned Sushil 48,000 and Vijayendra it is 24,000. Vijayendra it is 24,000 and 48,000 of and Vijayendra 24,000 is added together, so we get a 72,000. Now the surrender value which is mentioned in the problem as 1/4 of the sum assured. So 1/4 of the sum assured will be multiplied with the total of the surrender value. Total of this policy amount of the two policy is 72,000 into 1/4. 1/4 of the will be treated as the surrender value. When you calculate, you get 18,000. Now we have already calculated the sum of the information. With this information, we will prepare the Ranbir's capital account. And first item we are required to write is the opening balances, which is given in the problem. Ranbir 1,04,000. The deceased person is Ranbir, and Ranbir's capital is 1,04,000. So write on the credit side as 1,04,000 of Ranbir. So that is by balance brought down 1,04,000. Then next is the life insurance policy. Life insurance policy we calculated, that is the matured policy is 90,000 and unmatured policy it is 18,000. Matured policy it is 90,000 and unmatured policy it is 90,000. So 90,000 and 18,000, when it is added, we get a total of 1,08,000 multiply into the deceased partner's share. So deceased partner share is 3/6. So we get the amount of 54,000. We get the amount of 54,000. Next, in the problem itself, it is specified that interest on capital is to be provided at the rate of 6% per annum. So here it is mentioned that it is to be provided at the 6% per annum. So we will calculate on the capital of the deceased partner. Capital is 1,04,000. 1,04,000 into the rate is given is 6%, and it is 6% is for the entire month. But the partner remained in the firm only for 2 months, that is January and February. So we need to calculate only for the January and February, that is for 2 months. So 1,04,000 into 6/100 into 2/12, that gives us 1,040 as the amount on interest on capital. Then the goodwill adjustment, goodwill we have already calculated, and we found out the goodwill amount as 84,000. Deceased partner's goodwill amount as 84,000. Now this 84,000 is to be adjusted without opening the goodwill account. Without opening the goodwill account, and then how it will be adjusted? With the remaining partner's capital account will be credited. With the remaining partner's capital account is credited, 84,000 into the gain ratio is, gain ratio we have already calculated in the problem. Gain ratio is 2:1. Gain ratio is already calculated. So gain ratio is 2:1. That means 2/3 and 1/3. When you calculate 84,000 into 2/3, we get 56,000. And when you calculate 84,000 into 1/3, we get 28,000. And finally, the accrued profits that we have already calculated earlier, accrued profits, so that we need to calculate the accrued profit, that is 7,000. That is also to be brought by recording by profit and loss account on the credit side of the deceased partner's capital account, 7,000. Then in the problem there is one more item regarding the drawings. If there is any drawings, then drawings is to be debited to the capital account. In this problem it is specifically mentioned that 2 months drawing is 12,000. So we need to write this 12,000 on the debit side. So it is 12,000. Now total all these amounts. If you total the credit side, we get a amount of 2,50,040. From that, if you minus the 12,000, which the only entry on the debit side, then we get a 2,38,040 as the balance. And now this balance will be carried to the executor's account on the opposite side. It will be carried to the another account which we are preparing is the Ranbir's executor's account. Here we got the balance on the debit side. So that balance will be recorded on the credit side in the executor's account. Now we will prepare the preparation of the Ranbir's executor's account. Ranbir's executor's account is prepared at the end, and we will be first transferring the capital account balance. We got capital balance on the debit side of the capital account, and this balance will be transferred to the opposite side, that in this case on the credit side. So we will record the entry on the credit side as by Ranbir's capital account balance transferred 2,38,040. Now this executor account will be closed if it is paid in the form of a cash. A entry will appear on the debit side as to cash or bank account. If amount is not paid completely or the part payment is made and the other part payment remains to be paid, then the balance will be carried forward to the balance sheet on the liability side. So we will be closing here by recording the complete balance. Since no amount is paid in the form of a cash, complete balance will be carried to the liability side of the new balance sheet. So record on the debit side to balance carried down 2,38,040. This will be reflected on the liability side of the balance sheet. With this, we have come to the end of this particular video session numbered 42. I thank all the viewers for watching this particular video. Thank you one and all.